I already tried earlier this evening to record the Daily Davening Discourse on Hangouts on air, but the result was a recording which was not, one could not possibly make out the words. I apologize for that, for those who tried. So I'm recording this now on my own computer. If I can't get this resolved, and this may be a problem, so then I will simply record them on home and post them every day on online at the same YouTube site and on my blog, etc., etc. So I don't think too many people are watching it live. Anyway, drop me a line if you would like specifically to watch it live, and then I'll know that I should work on it. You can leave a comment on the video or email me or Facebook, anything, WhatsApp, anything which works. Okay, but for now, let's get back to the topic at hand. And I decided to start with the first brocho in Shemoneh Esrei. And the first brocho in Shemoneh Esrei, of course, starts with Hashem's V'asai Tiftach. But some people before Mincha and Musaf say, Ki Shem Hashem Ekra Havu Godel Elokeinu. When I call the name of God, then all of you should give greatness to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Even before that, in the Siddur Otzar HaTefillos, which we are using for the purpose of this series, it says, Yechavein, person should have in mind, Ani mechavein lichlol es nafshi, I have in mind to include my soul, ben inun de mispalin kuchabrichu b'lev av shalom, among those who daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu with a complete and full heart, which obviously invokes the merit of Am Yisrael, and that's always a good thing because one's own merit is not necessarily up to par, so therefore one always wants to have additional merit. And furthermore, there's this concept of you don't get judged as harshly individually, when you're part of a tzibur as when you are individually, so it's more likely that your request will be granted. But in any event, there's also a more altruistic aspect to it, which is I want to benefit Am Yisrael as well. And then it says here in the small letters, you should move your tefillin shorosh, obviously only applies if you're male, and that is up yisod. And I think that the sod is probably that the tefillin represents our connection with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and therefore being mamash in the tefillin indicates that we want to make that connection. If you will, the tefillin shorosh represents keser, and keser is that which is beyond us and connects us to above. And then we have, again, as I said, Kishem Hashem Ekro Havu Godel Elokeinu, those who say it. Those who do not say, Hashem's V'asai Tiftach Fi Yadi T'Lasecha is a takunas chazal, to say this before Shemoneh Esrei, and that is why it is not considered an interruption, the hefsek, between Shemoneh Geula, Gal Yisrael, or in the evening, Hashkibenu, Shemoneh Yisrael Ad, and Tefillah, Baruch Hashem Yomim in a minute. So the Anaf Yosef says that you shouldn't interrupt in any way between Geula and Tefillah, such as with Hashem, Kishem Hashem Ekra, except by when, so that means by Shachris. By Mincha, most of it's okay because there's no being some Geula Tefillah. By Marav, also you should not say Hashem's any other pasuk other than Hashem's V'asai Tiftach, because there is a smichus Geula Tefillah by Marav as well. Even though we say Baruch Hashem Li'olam Amen V'Amen, I shouldn't say we. I actually happen not to say it unless I'm actually have Tibor. But even though some people say Baruch Hashem Li'olam, Baruch Hashem Li'olam is not considered to be a hefsek of those who say, because it's considered to be part of Shemoneh Esrei, actually, not part of Geula, because it's a me'ain Shemoneh Esrei. So certainly between one part of Shemoneh Esrei and the other part of Shemoneh Esrei, you should not be mafsik with a pasuk in the middle. The Leo Zuta name, when the Piskei brings that name, Piskei says that even by Mincha Musaf you should not say Kishem Hashem Ekra, evidently because it's not part of the Matbeh Shetovu Chacham B'Tefillah. It's not part of what Chazal were misafed to be part of Tefillah. It's not clear from the Siddur Otzar HaTefillos when it was introduced, but and it is not something which is integral and therefore evidently should be avoided. Everybody should do what their minhag is. I'm not coming to change anybody's minhag. The Torah writes that Hashem's V'asai Tiftach was made as a takana. One other thing. After you say Hashem's V'asai Tiftach, you should not say any pasuk, of course, which goes directly into Shemoneh Esrei. the Hashem Society Tiftach is according to some poskim as part of Tefillah Shemoneh Esrei, like I said before, but according to other poskim, it's part of the Geula, part of Gal Yisrael. I guess depends. You focus on the first part of the statement, the second part of the statement. The first part of the statement is Hashem Society Tiftach is open up my lips, take my voice out of the golus, which is holding it back. We go on my voice. If you tell you about the praise, which I'm going to say. So therefore, if you focus on the first part of Pasuk, it's part of Geula. If you focus on the second part of Pasuk, it's part of Tefillah. The nafkamina, the difference between whether it's part of Geula or part of Tefillah is whether you have the Shliach Tzibur has to say it. If it's part of Tefillah, then the Shliach Tzibur has to say it, and the Bush writes that it is like Tefillah Richta, and therefore the Shliach Tzibur says it when he says Chazar Sashatz, and that is, in fact, the normative Psak Halacha. Okay, before we go on to the actual bracha, Hashem Society Talk, like I mentioned before, the first part of the pasuk is saying that my lips hold me back sometimes from speaking what's in my heart. So the lips represent the barrier, and that barrier has to be opened up. And once the barrier opens up, I say the praise of Hakadosh Baruch Hu will gush forth, will come automatically out of me. Those are barriers, like where Chazal say, "Mima akev so sheba'isa b'yishibur golios," what impedes upon me from properly serving Hashem is the Yitzhara and the Golus. But in order to we ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu to help us with that impediment, to remove it from us, that speech impediment, to remove it from us, and then we're able to begin Shemoneh Esrei in the proper way and manner, and that is going to bring out what's really in us, which is really praise of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So we start with the word Baruch. The Baruch, of course, and Nefesh Chaim spends a long time explaining that Baruch, when we say Baruch HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we are acknowledging that He is the source of all brachos, and that since He is the source of all brachos, we ask Him to bless us as a result. Atah, it means we're referring to Hashem in the second person. Hashem Elokeinu, we go back to the third person, and again, the Nefesh Chaim speaks about why we go back to the third person, although it's not so explicit we go back to the third person, but we do go back in a certain sense once we cognizant that we're standing for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so we go back and forth a little bit between second and third person. It's not something I want to get into. But I'm reading from the Anaf Yosef. Anaf Yosef says that by Baruch you should bend your knees, and the Marshal says that's because it says Berech L'cha Sichra, right? All knees bend to you. Berech is bracha; they're related. When one extends a berech, one is extending one's knees out. It's as if one is expanding towards someone, and it's like that's what a bracha is. They say atah, you're supposed to bend down until all the vertebrae in your spine are separated a little bit, and the Avudram says that these bows in Shemoneh Esrei, the bowing down, are in order to remember that before whom you are standing. That's one reason. To remember, I'm really diving to God. But another reason is to look down at the ground. To remember, eventually, that's where I'm going back to. Okay? Adam is so the me'ofar v'sofa me'ofar. So it gives you a little bit of humility to look down at the ground. Okay? I did not. I wrote that this is one of my kabbolos for Yom Kippur to give this daily davening discourse, and it's beneficial for me as well because, for example, this Avudram I never saw before today. Okay, so it's good to know that there's one of the interpretations that bow down to remember your dirt. Another reason is, interestingly, to bring down the bracha from above to below. If anybody's ever read Rabbi Ari Kaplan's Jewish Meditation, which is one of the best books in English language on Judaism ever written, and highly recommended, something like that, where he speaks about the bowing down in Jewish meditation. But it's to bring down the bracha. In other words, you bring down the bracha from on high to down below. So we're actually manifesting physically what we ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu to do in this bracha. Okay, so we say Baruch Atah Hashem, the Midas HaRachmim, which is the source of all brachos, Elokeinu, but the way the bracha comes down is through the pipelines of Midas Adin, In other words, the Rachmim sometimes is so great that the Midas Ladin is overwhelmed, and the wellsprings spring forth with tremendous brocho, but the Elokim is like the various different pipes through which it comes. And that's why I say Elokim in Gematria is Teva. It's nature, because nature is the pipelines through which the brocha has to come. So, Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu, right? With we have this refrain all over the place. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu, right? The Midas Arachmi must come down through the Midas Adin. Sometimes the pipelines perhaps burst. That's not necessarily so good either. But the Maisa that comes through the pipelines of Elokeinu, of nature. And we say Elokeinu Elokei Avoseinu. And many of the commentaries ask that we should say, it would seem, first Elokei Avoseinu and then Elokeinu, because first he was the God of our fathers and then ours. So the Dover and Sholom says that, in answer to this question, he says that for a person to be truly complete in the Avodas Hashem, every person has to try to hoe with the hoe of his intellect, H-O-E, hoe with the hoe of his intellect, in order to attain a perception of Hashem according to the capacity which he's able personally to grasp. That which is above his capacity to grasp, for that you can rely on the Messiah you have from your forefathers. So therefore, first we try and get as far as we can from the Hakora of our own Seichel. Then, whatever we don't get to, we have as a Kabbalah from our Avos, and we rely on that Kabbalah and Messiah which we have from the Avos of their relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Alter Rebbe has a slightly different spin on this. The Alter Rebbe says that the Elokeinu is the Emunah, like the Dover Sholom says, by intellect. Okay, but saying it was Emunah by a kind of Emunah Pshuta. It's Emunah Pshuta, which comes from the Messiah which we have from our forefathers. I take that back. Not Emunah Pshuta. The Emunah of the Messiah, as explained by the Kuzari, that we have this Messiah going back, which teaches us also this chain of tradition. It's kind of this interconnectedness, according to Alter Rebbe, because obviously the intellect is different from the Kuzari's proof. They both come together. The historical proof of our of divinity of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and he being the creator and the Torah being emes, is an intellectual thing in and of itself. But nevertheless, he kind of puts them into two separate categories. One, Elokeinu, Elokei Avoseinu. Going to Dover Sholom, I think it's a bit simpler. The Dover Sholom is saying, again, Elokeinu means by our thought. Elokei Avoseinu means that which we can't understand, that we have as a Messiah. Okay? And then we say, okay, Avraham, okay, Yitzchak, okay, Yaakov. So the Dover Sholom picks up on the Vav of okay, Yaakov, and he wants to say that Avraham had his own unique trait. Yitzchak had his own unique trait. Yaakov was a combination of the two. Avraham has unique perception of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yitzchak has unique perception of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yaakov's perception was a merger of the two. And that has to do with it representing Chesed, Gebura, Tiferes. Right? Chesed, Avraham Avinu connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu through his perception of Hashem's Chesed. Yitzchak through perception of Hashem's Gevura. Yaakov Avinu by Tiferes, which is the harmony of the two, meaning by both Gevura and Chesed and Gevura. And that's, he says, the Rishon is why the Vav is by Yaakov, because he had both traits. It's a little bit of a drush, but that's what he's saying. And Vav also is the letter of the Al-Beis associated with Tiferes, because Vav is like a pipeline, and it's the pipeline from above, because Tiferes is the pipeline from the higher spheres to the lower spheres, and also the 6 middle spheres are all associated with Tiferes. So it's really the 6 spheres which are in the middle, are connected to as the pipeline through Tiferes to below. But certainly that's stuff which you can have in mind, whether the Vav is actually meant to connote that, or the Vav is a simple Vav HaChibur. So again, the 3 perceptions, and we'll come back to this tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem, the 3 perceptions of the Avos, which are the way which relate to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the way in which receive HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the way in which HaKadosh Baruch Hu relates to us. Chesed, Gevura, Tiferes, and tomorrow we'll talk about how that's manifested in HaGadol, HaGibor, VeHaNorah. Thank you.